Chapter 3. The Sacred Sermon. This brief and apparently somewhat garbled text recounts the creation and nature of the world in terms much like those of the Prometheus. The major theme is the renewal of all things in the cyclic universe, and the 7 planetary rulers again playing their major role. The glory of all things is God, Godhead, and godly nature. Source of the things that are is God, who is both mind and nature, yea, matter, the wisdom that reveals all things. Source, too, is Godhead, yea, nature, energy, necessity, and end, and making new again. Darkness that knew no bounds was in abyss, and water too, and subtle breath intelligent. Those were by power of God in chaos. Then holy light arose, and there collected neath dry space, from out moist essence, elements, and all the gods do separate things out from fecund nature. All things being undefined and yet unwrought, the light things were assigned into the height. The heavy ones had their foundations laid down underneath the moist part of dry space, and the universal things being bound off by fire and hanged in breath to keep them up. And heaven was seen in 7 circles. Its gods were visible in forms of stars, with all their signs, while nature had her members made articulate together with the gods in her, and heaven's periphery revolved in cyclical course, borne out by breath of God. And every god by his own proper power brought forth that which was appointed to him. Thus there arose 4-footed beasts, and creeping things, and those that in the water dwell, and things with wings, and everything that beareth seeds, and grass, and shoot of every flower, all having in themselves seed of again becoming. And they selected out the births of men for gnosis of the works of God, and attestation of the energy of nature, the multitude of men for lordship over all beneath the earth, and gnosis of its blessing, that they might increase, and increasing and multiply in multitude, and every soul enfleshed by revolution of the cyclic gods, for observation of the marvels of the heaven and the heaven's gods' revolution, and of the works of God and energy of nature, for tokens of its blessings, for gnosis of the power of God, that they might know the fates that follow good and follow evil, and learn the cunning work of all good arts. Thus there begins the living, and their growing wise, according to the fate appointed by the revolution of the cyclic gods, and their decreasing for this end. And there shall be memorials mighty of their handiwork upon the earth, leaving dim trace behind when cycles are renewed. For every birth of flesh and soul, and of every the fruit of seed, and every handiwork, though it decay, shall of necessity renew itself, both by the renovation of the gods, and by the turning round of nature's rhythmic wheel. For that whereas the Godhead is nature's ever making new again, the cosmos mixture, nature herself is also co-established in that Godhead.